Hi, I'm Robin,
And I'm Christen.
and we are back with a part two of the most
A
beautiful
moment
moments
in life.
in life, because
Because I talk too much.
and this is the part two of that. So, with that being said,
We're just going to get right back into where we left off from last week.
right,
So enjoy.
butterfly.
Oh, I had a lot of notes on this one too.
You know what? And I was wondering. Remember, I had spoken about whether or not chasing butterflies was any kind of correlation or relationship to, the song.
Mm-hmm.
But that in itself, having to do with butterflies, come to realize that has a lot to do. They use those
Symbolisms.
symbolisms a lot in their songs, in their music videos,
Mm-hmm.
performances, like they do the water and stuff. They have a lot of those.
So
So now,
speaking of the symbolism of butterflies, I did look it up because while I was doing my study session, I had the same thoughts. And I was like, okay, what do butterflies mean? Like, what does a butterfly embody? Because it's woven all throughout this album.
yeah.
So, symbolism of butterflies. Butterflies are a powerful symbol of transformation, rebirth, and personal growth, representing the journey of self discovery and the ability to change and evolve. They also symbolize freedom, lightness, and joy, often associated with new beginnings and the beauty of nature. In various cultures, butterflies are linked to the soul, spiritual connection, and the cycle of life and death. So that says a lot
Yeah.
about this album. I think knowing that before you even start listening kind of prepares you for what you're going to receive
Yeah.
in this album. And just remind me, there's butterflies on the front. There's butterflies on the front. So, when you see the butterflies, just be prepared for the butterflies. Not in the, oh, they're pretty kind of sense, but they're going to talk about a lot of changes and a lot of transformation, a lot of growth, and a lot of cycles of life and death. Life of something dying, the death of something giving birth to something new.
Yeah.
They do that with the seasons too. There's a lot of talk about it. There's autumn leaves in this too. So yeah, it's the season of things dying, and then spring, the season of things being born again. They
Life.
It's like I'm having a revelation here on camera. it's like why didn't I catch this before? I don't know. But Butterfly to me felt like a continuation of Run. It felt like the next, like you're reading a book and then you turn the page from Run and there's Butterfly. It just felt very natural to transition into it.
Yeah.
But I put, in JK and V's verse in the beginning, recognizing that it's over, accepting the loss, but wanting to slow it to stall the inevitable. And again, this song could be about a person, but this song could also be about that transition. And I felt like they wrote it in such a way that you could apply it to either one. Is this the end of a relationship with a person? Is this the end of a relationship with my youth and my innocence? Like
that experience of your youth and your innocence.
Yeah. So I do love that they kind of left it open to mean what it needs to mean to the listener.
Yeah.
The pre-chorus just seems like a lot of denial.
It's true. A lot of questioning.
A lot of questioning. They're at that point where they're feeling the loss of the familiar, and it's terrifying because the future could be scary, but it could be good, but you don't know. And knowing is what makes, well, I think actually it kind of depends. I think in for young people, knowing what's going on makes life simple and beautiful. But there's also beauty in not knowing and seeing what happens. And I don't think that in this song, the latter is the one that they're looking at. I think it's definitely that knowing what's happening and having life be the way it is what makes it beautiful. And now to leave that, it's scary. So going into
There's beauty in the unknown, like you said.
There is.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
we know they found the beauty in the unknown, but they had to go through this period of their life
Yeah.
where they just were uncertain, and they decided to make songs about it. And now we sit here 10 years later talking about it.
Talking about the songs they made about
Talking
it. Right,
about the songs they made about it. And are we right? I don't know. I have no idea. The only way we'll know is either if we ask them or if there's an interview somewhere that we didn't catch.
And wait, your question was, are we right?
Yeah, in our interpretation of what this means.
But is there a right or wrong?
That sounds like a very RM question. That was a very RM response. Like, is there a right or wrong?
No, it's.
Now, I'm not saying that's bad. No, that was a
No,
really good
okay,
question. It just
okay.
seems like he would definitely say the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Seems very much like a response that RM would give. I don't know.
No,
I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. I guess my brain is wired to, and I'm unwiring it or rewiring it, but my brain is kind of wired to have like a right or wrong, and not have a left open to interpretation mindset. But I think that there's so much more to things when you do leave it open to interpretation, when it's not so crystal clear. You discover a lot about yourself when you're trying to figure out what the words mean deeper than that surface. And am I in therapy right now? What just happened?
No, it's you know what? It's just a layer taken off, that instead of seeing things the way you did, you're seeing it a little differently.
I totally see why these people get so attached to BTS, and they have these moments that they're like, no, they changed my life. I'm literally in real time looking at this and being like, how this is changing how I see my life. And I'm glad we did a deep dive. I mean, I'm scared, but it's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful.
The beauty of the unknown. It allows you the beauty of the unknown, like it not being crystal clear. It allows you to see the other elements within that are just beautiful, and allows you to give it some attention, not knowing what you're going to get from that.
I think the other thing that makes it beautiful is that you get to define what it is, as opposed to being told what it is. Because
that's beautiful right there.
But I think that when people are telling you this means this and this means this, everything is put into a specific box. But when you get to say, yes, this says this, and to me this means this, and then somebody else can look at the exact same words and feel differently about it, I feel like there's so much power in that, and the fact that now more people can take in your words and feel what they need to feel from it, regardless of what you felt when you wrote it. It has a meaning to different people. And for you to say, like, hey, this is my gift to you, do what works best for you, as opposed to being told this is how you use the gift I give you.
You just tiptoed through the arts. You see that?
Yeah.
And what you said? Dance.
Yeah.
Music.
Writing. Yeah.
You just tiptoed through the arts. What a artist paints looks one way for you, looks another way for me. It's different interpretation, both beauty.
Oh my God, I'm having my own butterfly moment. I feel like this song might be on repeat from here on out. Maybe that's why I had so many notes on this. Okay, going on, because my therapy is not in session right now.
No,
but I guess it kind of is. I guess we all gonna learn something from this. Yeah. And going into the chorus, will you stay by my side? Will you promise me? Will you? If I let go of your hand, you'll fly away and break. I'm scared of that. Will you stop time? Will you, if this moment passes? As though it hadn't happened, I'm scared, scared, scared I'll lose you. And for me, it was, I broke it up into 4 parts. The first 2 lines are, I don't want to forget you existed, but then it's followed by the second 2 lines, but I'm scared that I will. And the third is kind of a, I don't know if it's a begging or if it's just a favor being asked, but just remind me when I seem to forget about you. And then just not letting time pass to a point where you forget it happened. Mm-hmm. And being scared of losing you, not physically you, but the idea of you.
Or the idea of something, that memory, the time, the effort, yeah.
And then I went into, for the post chorus, my question was, are they transforming, or is the idea of youth transforming for them? And I think you had said,
why couldn't it be both?
It's both. Because it's, I'll let you elaborate on it, because I feel like I've talked too much.
No,
my mouth is dry.
It could be both, because when you look at the physical transformation of a butterfly, mm-hmm. right? That could be what's going on. Mm-hmm. But when you think about the transformation of youth to adult, you are shedding, you are becoming something else. Mm-hmm. It's bigger, you're freer. Things change. Your life is not the way it was before. But you've seen examples of what you're transforming into. But now you are the one doing the transforming.
And you know what's great? Oh, this just hit me. So it's perspective too, your perspective on life. Because if you look at the transformation of a caterpillar to a butterfly, a caterpillar is on land. Mm-hmm. They can only crawl along on the ground. And then suddenly they've got wings, and they can see their world from a different view. Yeah. And that's what that transformation is. It's like, now you're going from childhood, from youth to adult, and these situations will now have a different perspective for you, because that transformation happened to allow you to be able to see from a different perspective. Yeah. Ooh. I hate when I do that. I love it and I hate it at the same time.
That's something that God says all the time. I know, but see things. Give me what you're going through, so it gives you the opportunity to see things from my perspective. It's not just this.
Yeah, we can't live in a tunnel. No. And I feel like when you have tunnel vision, like, how can you grow if you're only just focusing on like what's directly ahead of you? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, we get into Sugar's verse. You're just like a butterfly. From afar, I still glances. If we touch hands, will I lose you? In this pitch black darkness, you're the butterfly effect lighting me up. With your light touches, I forget all reality at once. And then I put, this is about remembering youth. Memories keep him going even in the darkness of life. Mm-hmm. And then, what's funny is that I started to I bracketed J-Hope's verse, but I guess it still hasn't hit me what that verse means. So maybe this is my way of pausing, because I spoke a lot. But I have the little bracket there, and I was gonna write something, and I don't know if I got distracted or just nothing came to me that hadn't already been said. But I would love to hear somebody else's take on J-Hope's verse, because
it's like a wind that gently strokes me. It's like a dust that gently drifts along.
You're there, but for some reason I can't reach you. Stop. You're like a dream to me, butterfly high. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I still, even seeing it again, and I've reread it quite a few times, over and over again, and I don't know, maybe my brain was like, all right, that's enough. Like, you've done a lot of thinking and feeling for one song.
It's that last line kind of reminds me of the idea of the different perspective.
Mm.
You're
'Cause it's
like
just
a
high.
dream to me, butterfly, high. You're there, but for some reason I can't reach you. Stop.
Because he's still a caterpillar. He's not a butterfly yet.
That's one way.
I don't know. You see what happens when my brain was like so focused on the rest of it? I lost. What? Okay. I feel like this episode is just going to be a lot of rambling. We're sorry, but also not.
Well, you're getting a lot out of it. And I think the intent was to think through it, not just listen to it.
Yeah, but really take it
think
in.
through it. Yeah. It's like let it bake there a minute.
When we got to RM's verse, I had heard and I'd seen in some of his solo work and some of his later work, he uses a lot of literary references because homie reads a lot. He loves reading and he's so smart, and he, just being able to reference everything that he's read in a book or seen at a museum, or he takes in a lot of stuff that he learns, and then he finds a way to put it, like, weave it into the music, into the song. So I knew with this type of material for this album, we're gonna get some literary references, and he did not disappoint. he definitely name dropped a book. He dropped a book, Kafka on the Shore, which is a novel by Haruki Murakami, with themes like the album of uncertainty, dreams, and self-discovery. So makes sense that he put that in there because he does like to use literary references to reinforce his message. And for this one, it's a feeling of the departure of innocence to the uncertainty of the future. And then I put at the end here, feeling as though you want to be lost to the world, just like youth, but continuing on because of the love for it and holding on to the reality that it existed. I put that from My Love Is Eternal. It's all free for you, baby.
Oh.
Yes. So yeah, that's Butterfly.
That is Butterfly. So now just listen to it with a different ear.
Yeah.
A different ear.
Oh, this song. Okay, so
found out something about this
song. We found out a lot of things about this song. First, I have to give a disclaimer because my cousin had me listen to this song. When I first got into BTS, or I first told her, like, hey, I'm gonna give them a try, she gave me a list of songs, and Walian 52 was on it, and I was listening to it under the influence. But I wasn't paying attention, and so I rated it pretty low. Coming back to this album and listening to it, having to listen to it over and over again, holy crap, it grew on me.
Holy cannoli.
It grew on me, and when I learned about, like, after reading the lyrics and what it means, and doing our deep dive, yeah, I had some notes. So the first thing I wrote is when RM's little intro, the most lonely creatures in the world. Do you want to know my story? I never told this to anyone. Yeah, come on. I was like, buckle up, Buttercup.
I'm on a ride.
He's taking us on a ride. I feel like when he comes in with that, like, you're just, things are about to they're about to go down. Either you're about to get some real, like, introspective kind of lyrics, or he's about to rip you in half because how dare you diss him, because he's going to come back to you. So when he has those kind of intros, be prepared. So the first verse I put, feeling completely alone despite being in the limelight and having so many people around you, also feeling misunderstood, finding solace in the solitude. And I think that that's one thing that happens with a lot of celebrities when they get to that point of fame where now you can't even trust that the people around you actually care about you. And so you do feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you aren't a celebrity, I feel like there's points in life where people do go through those things where they could be
Yeah.
sitting in a crowded room around people who claim to be friends, or they have said these are my friends but still feeling alone.
Right.
And
Right.
then at that point, you have to question, is this a real friendship? Because why do I feel alone if I'm in your presence? So I feel like I got the themes of loneliness in this one, and it wasn't so much abandonment and loneliness and abandonment. It was just loneliness in like just that constant feeling of alone,
Yeah.
regardless of your surroundings, just that constant loneliness. And then in the pre-chorus, trapped inside those walls, even when I can't breathe, I face the surface above. Hey oh, oh hey oh. Yeah. The loneliness is suffocating, but the relief is a reminder of the loneliness. And then I put for the chorus, is there hope, a light in this darkness? Will anyone ever truly see me or hear me? The post chorus, I just put, this is my SOS.
Mm.
And then J Hope. See, I didn't have anything to say about J Hope's last verse,
Yeah.
but I had a lot to say about this one. It felt very much like a hiding of the true self, working hard and feeling like it's not amounting to much, feelings of not being enough,
Mm.
that the work isn't enough. It's definitely a lot of verse about worth, feeling worthy of love and praise. But he's the thing that I love about J Hope is, even if you have those feelings, he has such a strong work ethic. He's gonna continue working hard,
Mm-hmm.
and he's such a dreamer. They all are, but like I
Mm.
just love the way J Hope dreams, because I feel like he has this vision of how he wants something to look or feel or be, and then he just works hard until he can make it a reality. And that's, I've heard about, because he is the main dancer, and he does do a lot of the, like, leading the dance practices and the choreo for
Mm-hmm.
the guys. And you they have expressed, like, he's kind of like a drill sergeant when it comes to this choreo. But if you look at like some of the best stages, like some of the hardest dance moves, some of the best, the cleanest dance choreography, a lot of it is BTS, because you have Drill Master Jay over here laying down the law, not letting anything slide, but he has a vision for how it's supposed to look. And the guys are really good about trusting it. It's not easy. It's not
Yeah.
easy, but they trust it because he has worked hard to be that
Yeah.
example. And
Right.
so they know, okay, if he's doing all this, it's because it's supposed to look a certain way and
Way.
it's not there yet.
Right. Right.
But when it gets there, he does say, one day the praise that comes will make me dance. So one day the world will see me and embrace the full me. And that's the thing I love about him. He's not compromising who he is to try to get to the praise faster.
No.
He's not trying to get to the end goal by cutting corners. He has, like I said, he has that vision. He has the way that he wants it to be. And right now in this song, it's lonely on that journey, but he knows that it's going to pay off, that one day he will be seen for who he really is, uncompromised, unapologetic, and hopefully not alone.
Not alone.
And then we go into the pre-chorus. I trust in the blue sea and the rhythm of my heart. I can't give up.
Reference.
Yeah, I can't give up, even though I can't see the direction I'm headed. I trust that I'll end up at a better destination, which kind of ties into the end of J Hope's verse where he says, as myself, yeah, I'm swimming toward my future. So I think that, it kind of bleeds into the pre-chorus, that message of not knowing where I'm going, not being able to see, it's dark down here, but I have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to keep going, and eventually I'll get there, and everything will make sense. And then going into RM's verse or the bridge with RM and V, I just put speak your truth. At some point, you will be heard.
When you yes.
Yes.
I don't know. But
So I did look this up because I remember thinking, like, aren't whales social creatures? And I had to look it up. So there are some species that are social and there's some species that aren't. But before I did that, I put the irony of this is that for the most part, whales are social creatures, but even solitary whales can hear and respond to the cries of other whales. So to be a whalian is to be like a solitary whale that still doesn't fit into the vast sea and is out of place or maybe time. But then you came and hit me with a really good point. So buzzword frequencies, go.
the reason why that is true
Well,
is
let's the title of the song. It's
well,
right
all right,
there.
yeah, it's in the title of the song. It's Walian 52. And the reason why 52 is significant, extremely significant in the title and throughout the song, and the definition of them being social animals, is that they are 52 hertz is the measurement of some whales frequency of communication, and most species communicate on a 10 or a 39, and there are whales out there that communicate at such that high frequency of 52. The other species cannot communicate with them. They can't hear them. So if they are not within their um social environment with their whales, they or their species, the outside is very, very lonely for them because there's nobody for them to communicate with.
Yeah.
No one hears them. No whale species hears them.
And
So
I think there was a line about that. Speaking a different language. Only other whales speaking a different language surround me. RM says that in the bridge.
Yeah. So that's why the 52 is very significant in this, because and the idea of just having that lonely feeling. You're in you're trapped in the walls, you're in the sea, you're in that dark place, and if you're not surrounded by those who communicate with you in the same way, you are just alone. You are just there, and there's nobody. It's like being in that room and having the people, your friends, but so you have the other species around you, like, hey, but how you doing? But
they're not speaking to you. They don't. It's not the way you understand.
Right. It's not so you understand. So just to know that there's a frequency that high that cannot be understood by species of your kind.
Yeah.
It's got to be like,
you're a whalian.
You're a whalian. But I wonder why and what's the I don't want to say purpose, because we all have purpose. Where does it come into play to have that ability to speak at that frequency
for the whales?
For the whales, right? And not have that communication. What's that species? Reason? What's in that species that is significant in their environment?
Well, I bet if RM were here, he would answer that question for us. But until then, we're just gonna have to look that up on our own.
Yeah. But that was very good, because we said, like, well, what's the 52 for? But that's what it's for.
Yeah. Now we're going. So going back to Walian 52, when like I said, my cousin had asked me to rate it. I rated it pretty low. I'm pretty sure I rated it under a 5. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. I didn't know. I wasn't aware.
Expect
But
the phone
now,
call.
I please don't end me on. Please don't end our podcast. We just got started. But now I definitely, will rate it a lot higher. I no lower than an 8, maybe 8.5, 9. I do love it. I do love the song. I do love the symbolism of the song. I feel a connection to the song, and I understand it in a different way than I did when I first heard it with no context. Like I didn't know the English translation. But yeah, I will say that I'll re-rate it at a much higher number this time around. So forgive me. I know not what I do.
Yeah.
Okay, my city. My city, song of hometown pride. Yes. The thing I love about this song is that they put this smack dab in the middle of this album, and you had all these songs before it with these deep themes of youth fleeting and transformation and going from one phase of life to another, and then they're just like, hey, come to my hometown, it's great here. Like I love it. It's so BTS. Yeah. It's such a BTS thing to do. But I do like that they, love their cities so much so that they, had to make a whole song about it. And they do touch on different things that are in their cities. And I think for the most part, they all come from cities that aren't really like thrilling or exciting, but to them it's home. Yeah. And it means so much to them. So yeah, there was no like breakdown line by line, verse by verse.
But it's their beginning.
It's not just their beginning. It's their comfort. It's their safe. And I guess it could tie into the sanctuary of youth and that, oh, see, look at that. Making that connection there. Right on camera. Okay. So yeah, it fits here for that reason, because it is, again, them going back to, where they're from and their childhood memories and why they hold it so dear, because that's their home. That's their home. But I do love Suga's part, because he literally just kind of calls himself out with how much he talks about Daegu. And if you know anything about Daegu, it's not really that great. It's just a city, but he loves it so. It's his city. He loves it so much, and he talks about like, oh yeah, this guy talks about it all the time, but he's a D-boy. He's that D-boy. Yeah. Like that's the thing I love about Suga, is that he's just unapologetically himself. And yeah, he don't play about him. Yeah, he don't play about him. He do not play. But he does. He's like, yeah, there's not much going on here, but like I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna keep talking about it. And you know what? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's okay.
Go right ahead.
We'll listen. We will listen. Everything you've got to say about Daegu. Yeah. Tell us more.
It's all about
you. You had an interesting point on this song, didn't you? Yeah. Something about the travel, like.
Oh, the uprising?
No, not the uprising. It was about oh my gosh. You had talked about how was it some sort of travel like organization or whatever, like they named the song in South Korea. Like,
yes. I'm sorry. I was like, where is she going with this? Yeah, when the album came out, they kind of flagged different songs on it that they didn't want performed, but this song was like, yes, A1, let's do it, because of the pride they felt in their cities, and it was a A1 plus song to and some of the other ones I just because of the thought, I think the one we're coming up on is one of them, but I'm not going to harp on that because it's message. It's, they're speaking about their culture, their life, their what they've been surrounded
Their
by.
home.
So yeah, but this that the yeah, my city is definitely talk about it. That's I'm sorry.
No, it's
Is that
fine.
just
Don't.
too small?
No, we kind of when we did our research, we kind of both established that we weren't going to have much to say on my city
Right.
because
Yeah.
it wasn't a super deep song. It
No.
was really just a I love my
Just I
city,
love it. It was a love letter.
and
That's
yeah,
it.
and come check it out,
Yeah.
see it through my eyes.
Right. Right. Right.
And they each have their place where they're from and their
Mm-hmm.
place where they call home. And this song was just I love my city. I don't know if I'd ever write a song about my city. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
No.
I don't
No.
know. But they did, and why not? Okay, Silver Spoon. That's it.
Yeah.
Now I love this song before I knew what this song was about, because the song just sounds so good. The song sounds so good, and the choreo is so good, and it's okay. First off, the choreo is good. It's a lot of hip thrusting. If you know, you know. It's so good. But the song itself is basically about the differences in generations and how you've got the older generations basically saying to younger generations, you are lazy, you're not doing enough, like why aren't you doing what you need to do to have what we have. And it's the younger generation saying it's not that easy. I can work my butt off and I still won't have half as much as you because times are different. And as I was listening to the lyric or reading through the lyrics and kind of taking it felt very much like that whole like boomer millennial struggle that we've got going on here, where boomers are basically saying millennials are lazy, and if you just stopped eating avocado toast and drinking Starbucks, you can own a house. And it's like, no, it's not quite that easy. So that was what came to mind. That was my parallel to it. Um, just without the hip thrusting.
I realize I haven't seen this video.
We're gonna watch it later. I don't think it's not a music video. It's a performance though.
Performance. I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
So when you was talking about it, I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, so my note here at the end was the song is essentially about the generations that come before them having it easier than them, um, but complaining that the younger generation is lazy and doesn't put in the same amount of effort that they did. The reality is the older generations made it difficult for the younger ones, and these younger generations have to work harder and spread themselves too thin in order to get close to what the older generations have. So yeah, and honestly, it could just be something as simple as like living, like, hey, jobs are different and income is different and stuff like that. But also within the K-pop world, I feel like they probably were looked down on by older generations of K-pop idols or fans of older generations of K-pop idols, and basically saying like, "Oh, you're doing too much trying to be what we are." And it's like, no, I'm not trying to be what you are. I'm trying to be me. So that's it. So that was my take on that. And then we had the skit, which we didn't really get into too much, but they were basically talking about it was One Night in a Strange City. And they were talking about their songs and their performances. And yeah, there wasn't I didn't really get too much into that one. Not like we did the last one.
But their skits are good. Their skits are really good. We just didn't get into this one.
Yeah, we didn't. And then we had Autumn Leaves, which again, that whole idea of the seasons and changing.
Fading love.
Why do I not have notes on this?
Do you have notes I just said fading love and reluctant to let go of cherished moments.
That's why.
And using the visual of autumn leaves falling to represent the decline of a relationship. That's pretty much what it was. And then we touched on this with a song previously earlier that it's that makeup of love,
So
or the ending of love.
I
the
didn't
fading
write
of
the
love.
notes, but I remember our discussion about it because I said Autumn Leaves segues into outro House of Cards.
Right. Yes.
And it's the same message, different visual analogies.
Yes, they're very different. But go on.
No, it's so again, it's the end of a relationship, but not wanting to let it go, like that last leaf on the branch, and then you go into House of Cards, and again, it's the end of a relationship. You don't want to let it go, but you know that staying in that house that has no foundation, that's bound to topple over at any moment, is going to hurt both of you. You're both going to be trapped.
Yes.
But you just don't want to let it go. And I put a note on outro House of Cards. This song is so sexy. Like, okay, this song sounds so sexy when you listen to it and you're just like, what are they singing about? This song is insanely sexy. And my second note was, you're seducing me to stay with a sexy song. How dare you? How dare you? But that's what it is. They're trying to persuade / seduce that person to stay with them, even though they know it's wrong. Like, we both know it's going to end. We both know that this isn't right, but please just stay here in this house of cards with me until it falls apart. Let it fall apart with us.
In it.
Yeah, in it. And I just
no, we can't do that.
We get the full song on the next album, so I'm really excited about that. But yes, this song is one of those songs that you're just like, what are they singing about? Because it sounds sexy. And then it's like, oh, they're singing about our life falling apart in this relationship. That sounds great.
I like the jazz bass chord.
Yes. They do sound really, really good.
It's very
again,
jazzy.
Sexy.
Yeah, it's very, very jazzy. And the upright bass and the strings. Oh, it's superb. I didn't get a chance to I was too busy listening. I didn't get
every time we tried, she's just,
I said, did you hear the bass chords?
Did you hear the bass chords? And I'm like, yes, I heard them.
Did you hear
they are very sexy. and count how many times I just said sexy, because I feel like I said it a lot, but gosh. I don't know. It is. So that is The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Part 2.
Part 2.
My goodness. There was so much to unpack there, and I feel like the next one is a compilation. So there's songs that we already went over, but it gives us a chance to look at some of the songs from the first album that we didn't really do a deep enough dive into.
Yeah.
But then we get some new songs. We get 2 full-length songs. We get House of Cards and Love Is Not Over, full-length version.
Right, full-length version.
And then we get 3 new songs.
Love's Not Over was the outro to
the first part. Yeah, part 1. And then, we get Save Me, Burning Up.
Yeah, Burning.
And then what's the third? Young Forever.
Yes.
So. Don't hit your microphone. We have a lot to talk about on that one. Yes. We've already started doing some of the deep dives, so let's not bring that into this one. We'll save that for the next.
That was a flashback. That was a mistake. I'm sorry.
We'll save that for that episode. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.